you, sir. No problem. All right, I'm excited to be here with you today, this afternoon. It's an honor to be with you. So I know that we had a great time. Let me see if I can quickly connect this. But by the way, how are you doing this afternoon? How are you guys, huh?
Very good.
All right. Do we have the... Okay. Just give me a quick second and we're going to get started. All right. Let me just connect this here quickly. And I think we're ready to go. Is that right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm very honored to be with you this afternoon here. My name is Rommy Cruz. For all of you who do not know me. And I happen to be part of a great community that we have a beautiful campaign for financial literacy. For the sake of time, I just let you know that I will have to skip sections. But my encouragement to you is to connect a little bit more with us and to see the kind of work that we're trying to do with the community out there and how you could add value to the communities that you're trying to help and also in the groups that you're part of, how you can actually add value. But having said that, let me just set my timer, all right? May I get? Perfect. So quickly, as a way of an introduction to who we are and what we do, and most importantly, why we do what we do, let me just share with you our community first. And I just skipped the video for the sake of time. So we happen to be the World System Builder community, and we are a community of professionals from different backgrounds, different walks of life, and also from different nationalities and languages. And we have come together with one mission. It's to provide the best financial educations to our community that happen to be here settled. So I definitely have to, number one, acknowledge many of the presenters that we have had this morning, and they have shared valuable insights on when it comes to helping, new immigrants and refugees to settle in Canada. Definitely, I commend you for the work that you do. Now, in our community, the work that we do is now the second phase. And definitely, I relate to Mr. Barry when he said the 2 layers. So I believe that we happen to be part of the second layer, which is the empowering layer. So helping families now to be a contributor to the economy, to be a contributor to their society by first being a good position themselves, now to then help others, okay? So we happen to be a great community that we have more than 400 financial centers. Luckily, my office happens to be within 5 minutes from this location. And these are the things that we're trying to do on a daily basis. So, we have a series of workshops where we teach families when it comes to, from the A to Z. Today I will be sharing just a little bit of the workshop number 1. So building savings and wealth. Workshop number 2, we teach families about increasing, cash flow and managing debt. Number 3, teaching them the proper protection strategies. Number 4, about understanding assets and how they can now build, investments for the future and retirements and things like that nature. Number 5, fulfilling long-term goals. Okay, we come to this country here, myself, with a bag full of dreams. I don't know about you, but I did come to this country with that mission to provide for myself a better future, and definitely my family and the people around me will be benefited by that. So, and how can I fulfill those? And also, in my future life, if God allows that to happen, how can I retire with dignity? And not being dependent upon, maybe any other sources, but from my own. And lastly, how can we preserve everything that we have built after settle, and now how we can transfer that to our next generation the most efficient way, okay? And our workshops, they have been able to reach many people. So we have a huge community, over 90,000 members. And these are some of the places that we've been able to bring education, We've been able to go in many homes. So also public libraries, happen to be in the US and Canada, and also schools and universities. We're actually very proud to say that we brought our financial educational campaign to the law school in Harvard, where we taught the students on the principles of building a great financial foundations, great universities and Columbia universities. Also in Ontario, we've been able to do some work with some of the universities out there. Places of worship, small businesses and corporations, and even government agencies. So in Canada and also in the US, But most importantly, all the work that we do it because we share that with our friends and family first. And the impact that we have now helps us to spread the word, okay? So, and also online. I happen to have some books which I will definitely share with you guys in a little bit. But having said that, now let me just quickly shift. Now my point. Having said that, we first, want to help the communities, the refugees to settle in Canada, to at least have a place to put their feet on. Now we want to be able to teach them how to, achieve what we call, the North American dream, on having them learn the strategies and solutions. But number one, we believe that everything starts here first, in the mind. So before we teach them the how-tos, the tangibles, we got to work on the intangibles, the mindset when it comes to money, which I do believe that that's the best hindrance that many families, us immigrants, we actually have. So having said that, let me just tell you guys that the information that I will present today here, it's not meant to be any legal advice and also any financial advice. This is just for educational purposes. And this is just to bring awareness in our financial literacy campaign. If you happen to see there, one of the banners, we want to educate 30 million families by the year 2030. And this is one of our classes that we teach our communities, okay? So having said that, financial education in the day and age that we live, it's not an option. Happens to be a necessity. It's a necessity for a person. And we at World System Builder, we're committed to educate 30 million families, as I mentioned. And, every day we're flooded. I don't know who has a phone, by the way. Do you have a phone and do you access from time to time social media? One of the things that you will see is that we are flooded with information. Is that right? We happen to be flooded with a lot of information. Sometimes, from people that they might not be accredited and licensed to do that, and maybe not have industry experience to educate families. So, and maybe if they do, they might just want to focus on maybe one or two aspects. We as a community, we believe that everything should be done on a holistic, perspective. So that's what we're trying to do. So, and I will skip a lot of slides for the sake of time. But what you will learn, number one, is how do we identify our goals? Okay? The financial foundation mindset, and what is the world formula, and how it can definitely help you, and comprehend the effects of time and inflation on your assets, whatever that you're trying to build. If you guys, let me just get out of the way for you guys to see, okay? All right, so the concept of money, number one, let's put it this way. Think back. Who remembers the first job? Do you guys remember your first job? Do you remember the first time you got paid, your first paycheck? Or, when someone taught you about the value of money? Okay, let's go back first. And let's think about that. How do you feel when you have your first paycheck? I'll tell you something. Let's say when I had my first paycheck in Canada. I came, as I mentioned earlier, with a lot of excitement, with I would say luggage full of dreams. So, everything died when I got my first paycheck. I don't know if it has happened to you, but it did happen to me. So what are the most common things that we should be, or maybe you should, or you normally financially plan for? Okay, we want to teach people maybe school education, travel, vacation, maybe for engagement, a wedding, or maybe if you want to buy a home, or for retirement. So ask yourself, what are the things that you're planning for, okay? And, so, setting and reevaluating those goals is an important part of being financially secure. So one of the things that I definitely encourage you to have a conversation with everybody that you're trying to help, first is identify why you do what you do. The how will come if you identify the why first. For example, I definitely connect with the mission of Brother Festo. He wants to, and why does he do all this? And why does he go through maybe many doors that, we have doors here that got open, but we don't know the ones that got closed, and that they remain closed. But why did he have to go through all that? It's because he wants to provide a better future for individuals out there. So when it comes to money, you want to have the same mindset. Why do you do what you do? Why do you work so hard? Okay? So it is very important that you set goals. And if you're saving and building your future without a solid goal, you're more likely to overspend and not have the resources when you need it the most. So number one, mindset, okay? So financial goals are generally based on the amount and the time needed. So, definitely we have to acknowledge that there are different ages, and, based on ages, you have different goals and time frames to achieve that. So, but normally what we say is that if you have a goal that you want to achieve within 1 year, that's what we call a short-term goal, okay? Short-term goal, something that you can definitely achieve on that time, and something that is between 1 to 5, let's say 2, it's, medium term, maybe that could be like a paying off a car, maybe getting out of debt. 5 years over, that's what we call a little bit more of a long-term, and that might be your children's education, or maybe you want to save for a house, or now maybe planning for retirement. So at the end of the day, each goal must be paired with action. So that's one of the things that I can tell you here. We can talk all this, but if we don't actually take action, then the needle never moves, okay? So what are you saving for? And also, what do we say to people, that you should be saving for? Every time that I sit down with a family and I go through what we call a financial needs analysis to determine what is important to them, what are some of the goals that they have, and what are the things that they want to accomplish. So normally, we take a quick view. What are the things that are important for them, and identify what are those goals. And maybe that could be retirement, education. So you need to first identify that, okay? And now, after you identify your goal, the second question is, how much do you need to achieve that, okay? And you can use, different ways. Normally, we teach, as a matter of fact, I've been referencing to this book a lot that you see on the page. That's actually part of our initiative. So we have this, we call it Saving Your Future book, where I believe that if you happen to get your hands on them and just quickly read them, you might know possibly more than 95% of Canadians when it comes to managing their money. So I definitely encourage you to get your hands on them. And also, we have a workbook that is paired with this. And as people go by through the slides and the workshop, they can fill them up, okay? So, many financial professionals will suggest that if you're going to be planning for your future, okay, let me ask you, who plans here to depend on somebody for the rest of their lives? Who has that mindset? Who wants to be self-dependent? Of course, I'm talking, I believe that we have some people, the faith, number one, depending on God, and now in the ability that He gives me to take care of myself and my family. Is that right? So normally we say to people that, well, if you want to be able to properly, effectively take care of yourself in the future, let's say when it comes to retirement, at least you want to have what we call 20 times your income. That way you can properly retire and have, peace of mind in your future. But on the other side, maybe, what if you're working too hard right now and you try to build something, but you have a lot of responsibilities and something happens to you? Will you be able, or maybe will your family be able to achieve some of those goals that you have? In case if you have, let's say, many immigrants, they come with children and they have that responsibility. In case something happens to you, you want to make sure that you leave at least your family what we call 10 times your income. If something were to happen to you, that way your family can continue, okay? Also, these are some of the ways that you can definitely identify how much you need to achieve your goals. But whichever strategy you use, let me say something. Procrastination should not be part of it. Okay? We are very good as human beings on leave things for later. And sometimes money and building something for our future happens to fall in the same box. Oh, we'll do it tomorrow, we'll do it later. So whatever that you guys do, I'll tell you something. Do not procrastinate. Don't use procrastination as a strategy. So Just quickly here, just take a look at the screen here. Let's say that if you let's say that you want to build $1 million by age 65. Let's take a look at here. How much you need to save. There is a formula. Definitely, we can talk a little bit more about that. But look, I had the opportunity to talk to this young group of individuals on the corner. But look how much you have to save, guys, if you want to reach $1 million by age 65, if you happen to be 25. Okay? So you have a good opportunity. But now, look, if you're now 10 years older, how much it changes. Okay? Assuming, 8%, which we have tools available in Canada to reach our goals. But look at now, if you happen to be 45, if you want to be able to now build $1 million for, let's say, retirement, how much we need to save. So one of the things that we say to people is, the best time for you to plan for your future is yesterday, but it's gone, so today's the second best time. So wherever you happen to be, I encourage you to take action and just identify your goals and work for them, okay? So normally that's what we say, working with someone that can help you to, assess your goals and create a strategy for that. But we know that obstacles can get in the way, okay? And we need to be prepared. And families need to be prepared when lives happen. Is that right? Does things happen, in the way that prevents us from maybe achieving the goals that we have? So you need to be also prepared for that. Let me just go a little bit faster. But here is where I would like to put most of my energy. If we want to help newcomers, immigrants, anyone staying in Canada. As a matter of fact, I have one of my colleagues here, Monica Turuk, we happen to be working together, born and raised in Canada, and based on the experience that you share with us, even people being born and raised in here, they are no different most of the time, okay? So, no different. So, just financial education is not just only for the newcomer, it's for everybody, based on what we actually have seen. And if I can leave with something, which I will definitely conclude it right now, this is what we call the financial foundation, okay? The foundation to build a good situation for you and your family. And these are what I call the pillars of a good financial house. Number one, we teach people that they need to have, what we call the foundation protection. So where we happen to be right now, let me ask a question. Which floor is this? Second floor, is that right? Let me ask a question to the young community out there. What happens if we have a problem in first floor with the columns? Are we in danger here? Yeah. Could we be in danger? So I definitely believe that also financially speaking, we could be in situations like that where our foundation is not strong, and whatever that we're trying to build, which, let's say second, third, fourth floor, could be at the risk of any crumbling, okay? If the foundation is not set properly. That's why we teach families, number one, as a good layer for you and your family, you have to have the proper protection in case something happens to you and, you get in troubles. Then we teach family strategies on how to reduce debt and manage that. And it's very, very important. You want to help a person here in Canada, you want to help a newcomer, teach them how to build emergency savings. If you teach them how to build savings for what we call the rainy day, trust me that you will do tremendously great to that person. Because those are habits that are forced when a person is saving for a rainy day, and you can definitely help a lot of people that way. And lastly, after you build up the foundation, what we call, the basement of a house, let's say, and maybe the walls in here, we want to teach people also how to build a future with investments and how you can grow your money. That way your money in the future can take care of you, okay? So definitely there's a lot of things that we, are going to be skipping for the sake of time. But here, and that's it. Think of money in two ways. Money is time. Is that right? I'm going to be a little quiet today, so I like to be a little bit more engaging, okay? But it's good. So, money is time. So, and that means that in order for people to make money, they have to do what? If you read what it says, you will have to trade your time for money. So technically, when you go and clock in and you know, work at your job, you are trading your time. You're exchanging your value in return for money. So that's one thing that you need to learn, okay? But also, one thing that most people are used to know this really well is this. But we need to teach families, all families, settle, new immigrants, everybody, we need to teach families the idea that money also making money. You need to learn how to make money, make more money for you in your future. So, you know, this refers to money growing over time that can work for you in your future. So if we can teach that to our families, I definitely believe what Mr. Barry said earlier, that we can help them to now contribute to the society. Because the way that we say is, before I can help somebody else, I need to be first helped by myself. So I want to be in a good situation that I can extend a hand to others. And I believe that with great financial education, families can put themselves in great positions to help their own and now help others. So for the sake of time, I'll just quickly stop it here. If you want to be able to learn a little bit more about the things that we're trying to do, definitely encourage you to sit down, you know, with maybe somebody from our community to get to know a little bit more about us. But having said that, you know, some of the testimonials from the people that participate in the workshops, you know, financial education, literacy with applied knowledge will serve your future. Though we started from scratch in our 20s, those are, you know, a young couple, you know, we were able to achieve our first million saved. And we are very proud our money management discipline since that, you know, time that they participated in the workshops. We're excited to achieve our next financial goals at this time. For sure, it won't take that long. More, you know, on that. And with this, you know, if you have more questions, definitely I would be more than glad to spend a more, you know, few minutes to answer some of those. But, you know, these are some of the workshops that we teach. I just happen to compress it for the sake of time. However, let me just close with this. At the end of the day, what matters is what we build to help ourselves and help others. And if everything starts with the mind, the way that you perceive money, because we have to understand that we have a lot of individuals that they come from different parts of the world and cultures and the way that they perceive things. We want to be able to help them to assimilate and understand, you know, how they can be successful in this new country. You know, we have definitely resources, you know, communities that they can help them, you know, spiritually, physically, but, you know, also something important for families to learn is how money works and how they can build a great financial foundation for themselves. Having said that, guys, thank you very much, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right.
Making money work for you and making your money work every single time. Please, can I get